Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
We have a huge show today because we had a slight break of a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. My father had a heart attack, so he's doing all right, but it meant down tools immediately and race up to the Gold Coast, which isn't around the corner for those of you that know Australia well. Fortunately, borders are open, so managed to make it. But anyway, lots to talk about though, because it's been a busy period. I mean, aside from earning my medical degree, I've been busy both working and studying, you could say.
Okay.
Remember I talked about seeing
courses?
George Miller and Tim Minchin at the Sydney Writer Festival?
Yes.
And a screenwriting course and Warmups. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot
I want to hear about
knowledge being transferred into my poor little brain cell. And it looks very much like an actor's house. I still don't have furniture in the dining room. And literally the lights were set up before Sam walked in, like just before, because I had a self-tape audition yesterday that I had to do urgent voiceover job the day before, over the weekend. It's been busy. But at a corporate shoot this morning, actually. So turned up and got the suit on, cleanly sort of shaven-ish, like trimmed the beard a bit.
Yep.
And used the old teleprompter to make it look like I knew what I was talking about and really conveyed that authority, but in a relaxed and relatable style.
Good stuff.
There you go. So fun stuff. So it's been really busy. I guess, first of all, warm-ups. I remember because we talked about how, because you're a singer, obviously, you have to warm up your voice. Mm-hmm. Even things like, I remember we talked about different ways to warm up. And even there was a moment where we used an example of a Kate Blanchett, how she had to do this opening for some fashion thing at a store in the city. Back in the day, and she only had like a line, but she was over in the corner just before, warming up the voice and doing all the exercises, and to the uninitiated, it just looks like you're weirdly talking in some Elvish language or something.
Yeah, you got to be confident. In your own...
Because and to the voice is an instrument, and warm one up and let it rip.
Indeed.
And I guess for those that have acted on the stage in theatre where, and if you're independent theatre, you're probably not going to have a microphone. Certainly if, like me, you can't sing, it's not going to be a musical. Then it's kind of, you really have to, you're really aware of how much it can take out of you.
Yep.
Just having the same sort of conversations, even without even yelling on stage, but having to have that presence in your voice.
100%. You need to warm that up.
Yeah, week after week, performance after performance. If you're not warming it up properly, then you can absolutely damage it and lose your voice and all sorts of things. It's certainly not going to help the performance.
No, especially if you've got weeks and weeks.
Yeah. And funnily enough, the hour that I was on this Zoom course, that beforehand, I'd found out about my dad, so I'm talking to my mum in the morning. Then I had this hour session where we were going through different warm-ups.
Yeah. And
then I had to ring my mum to tell her what was going on. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, Max, you've got a different voice. Your voice has changed." And I'm laughing because, like, well, A, I needed a moment of levity, and B, it just shows how much, just even like an hour of doing bits and pieces of all the different types of work, warm-ups you can do. Yeah. Just what a difference it makes.
It opens up your voice.
Yeah. So we got a few cheat sheets. I'm talking like I got 12 pages printed out. Oh my God. Some are just like in the car on the way to.
And we'll go through them all today.
Yeah. Some are like, do just before you walk in the room.
Yeah.
Some, if you're in the theatre, different ways of warming up depending on what you need to do. And others, in the car on the way to an audition or something. Yeah. And for me, it's great to have a few key ones that I like that I keep sort of cycling through, even for doing voiceover. It's like, say, I haven't got time. I've just got a note from someone on a job I did they want to pick up, so I've got to do a revision. Yep. I just want to fire up the computer, record it, quick edit and send it away and done. Well, I've got a few, really sort of quick warm-ups to do to sort of get me there. Because you want it to sound like the longer version that you've done.
Yeah.
So that when they drop it in,
it doesn't sound
doesn't
weird.
sound like someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. and B, you don't want to spend forever trying to warm up. You don't have the time. So I'm always open to different types of warm-ups.
Yeah.
So that, you know, like even at the 12 pages, like so much of that was new and I'd never thought of warming up in this sort of way. And it was really great to experience it and to practice it a little bit in that hour, because it wasn't a long time, to then sort of add to my list of go-to warm-ups.
Cool.
Do you have like a sort of go-to repertoire of warm-ups?
Yeah.
Is there a Sammy album of warm-ups?
There are. I have to think of what they are, because
it's not a test. You have to like demonstrate them.
No.
But
yeah,
do you keep nourishing them and sort of bring new ones in? And
yeah, I mean, there's heaps that I learned in high school, because I started in theatre at school.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for vocals, for like singing, and I guess hence for musical theatre and stuff. A lot of warm-ups that I learned that for different vowel sounds and for opening up the voice and for stretching the voice.
Right.
So the main thing that, for example, my singing teacher taught me was few hours before, even in the morning, before an audition or performance, like start as low as you can and sing as high as you can, like kind of on different vowel sounds.
Yeah.
Stretch it out heaps, then rest and do not sing. And if you can help it, don't talk.
Talk.
Yeah, don't talk
Say nothing.
up until like 15 minutes before, and then just do a quick little relaxed, not stressing out the voice kind of warm up, and you're good to go. So, and it's good, you know, if you have an audition in the afternoon, not in the morning, you've been talking all day.
Yeah.
So talking helps as well.
Okay.
Whispering is damaging as hell.
Right.
Because you use more force, less of your vocal cords.
Right.
And it can actually be quite damaging. But so that's why
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so behind stage when you're in a musical, you're not meant to talk loud, but if you can help it, don't whisper either.
Right, that's fascinating.
Because it can damage it. Yeah, so that was cool. And also a lot of articulation exercises as well. All that stuff's so important so you don't trip up, because, you know, that plus nerves, plus possibly speaking quickly, depending on what scene you're doing, you know. You want it to sound good and
no, I know, right?
people to understand what you're saying.
It's funny, isn't it? Because, and again, it's another thing where the more work you do, the less it looks like you're doing anything when you're performing. Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of people, like especially for musical theatre, disregard the articulation one.
Oh. That's funny because I know
as much.
For me, I'm always dialing that up because with voiceovers, like I'm getting like, okay, let's face it, with my 20 years corporate experience, I'm falling into more of that corporate area. Like even this morning, digital was the word today. It was twice in the same sentence. Digital. I'm like, you know, and then you don't want to do digital.
You don't want to go too much,
You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's so important. That's been super important for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Just normally like doing reads. Yeah. It's hilarious, isn't it?
Digital.
And there's always one word that gets me, you know. Yeah. And then of course you focus on it, and then you know,
and then
that's your anchor in the sentence.
Yeah, and then when you do years of that, you know, it becomes almost muscle memory, and you kind of the warm ups just get you there. You don't have to think about it too much.
Yeah, it's less of a stress.
Yeah, so 100%. Like warm ups are, I think for a lot of people who are starting out, even people still in, but I think a lot of people starting out, warm ups are quite underrated, and quite. Oh, well, yeah, they're underrated. I don't think
they don't value them as much as they should, do they?
It's hard, though, because, like, yes, you have to tune and warm up your instrument, but it's hard to consider something that you use every day and is actually a part of your body, an instrument.
Yeah.
Which it is,
whether
you're singing or talking.
Well, for singing, especially, like, longevity, you know, you're going to end up not being able to sing past your 40s if you
keep it warm.
Mucking it up in your 20s.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, keep it warm. Hydration helps a lot. All that stuff. Yeah.
I know we had a special on like musical theatre and that.
Yeah,
we had a couple of singers in that we know really well.
Oh my God.
And things like, you're trying to make sure that you not only warm up right, you're approaching the song the right way. Otherwise, you wreck your voice.
Yeah.
So important.
And exactly. You generally have multiple performances as well.
So from warming up to storytelling, it was a really interesting couple of weeks because literally on a Sunday, I'm listening to Tim Minchin and George Miller having a 1 hour unscripted conversation about storytelling from like this high level of like, what is a story?
Yep.
And then the next day, literally on the Monday, I'm there starting my 5-week online course of screenwriting. Here is how you write.
Yeah, how's that going?
So it was really funny, but it was really good. It was like a good warm-up act.
Yeah, cool.
Of Tim and George to help me ease into.
That's good. That's well placed.
My screenwriting. It was hilarious because I think, interestingly, from the chat, it really was an hour of unscripted discussion, and there was a few moments there where it sort of went, It was interesting when they started to get into detail of certain projects and how they both approach different projects.
Yeah, right.
Interestingly, George, because the big news in Australia anyway is the green light on the next Mad Max movie. So it's the prequel, which is got a $350 million budget. And I think it ended up with something like $30 million worth of subsidies, because I was having dinner with someone who was on one of the boards with Create New South Wales for theatre, but knows that it was something like 30 million something of incentives, tax breaks, credits, producer offsets, all that sort of legally stuff that helps bankroll, $350 million worth of investment over God knows how long it's going to be filming for. That's it. It's a mammoth. It's moving a city to the outback, basically. Yeah. But he wrote that before he wrote Furiosa, the last one that went, the Charlize Theron one.
Before he wrote Fury Road.
The last one, Fury Road, yes.
So he wrote the prequel before he wrote... Yes,
which kind of makes sense, I guess, when you think
it is a prequel.
So he fleshed out this, and then the last one, and then just thought, because it's really interesting because he's established the universe. Yeah. He's established the world.
So he wanted to make a remake before he made the prequel instead of a...
Pretty much. Yeah. It's kind of, let's... You already know the world. The world's been introduced to you. Let's bring it to life. Yeah. And then we can then go and find out why.
Cool. Yeah, because I was like, what's happening?
Because there's a lot more meat onto the bones as to why.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that he's done it in that way. So and it was part of the Sydney Writers' Festival, which was really interesting, like, literally surrounded by stories and inspiration. And the reason George Miller was available is, Tim Minchin lives in Sydney, but George Miller filming 3,000 Years of Longing.
Yes.
And Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. Mm-hmm. I think they wrapped a couple months ago, but I think it was still in post when we were talking about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim Minchin's like, oh, so I saw that, Idris Elba's here and Tilda Swinton, and you guys are filming down in Tasmania, and it must be this nice little George Miller art house kind of movie project. And then he's like, but the budget's $80 million. I'm like, what the hell are you doing down there? That's not a small art house movie by any means.
Oh,
so it's, I know, right?
In comparison to everything they usually make.
I know. Wow. The 3 million indies that we normally see.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to find out more about that. But
that's
it's certainly a hub, Sydney, at the moment, for lots of talent.
Oh yeah,
100%. And the Gold Coast and Queensland there's so many projects happening.
There is, yeah.
It's really cool.
I recently auditioned for a professional musical theatre show. It's called Jagged Little Pill. I'd never heard of it until now, but apparently it
has it been on in Broadway?
Won awards. Yeah. So apparently it's been on Broadway, won some Tonys or Grammys. I forget which one. But auditioned for that, sent through an audition, haven't heard back yet. But that's exciting. And I have an audition on Thursday for a play at ATYP.
Yep.
Called Follow Me Home.
And talk to people about what ATYP is, because even
ATYP,
I have to ask,
everyone,
I'm too old to know.
Is an Australian theatre for young people.
People younger than me.
People, yeah. Well, I thought even younger than me, but then I found out I could audition for this thing. Get
in there quick.
So it's right near the Rosalind Packer Theatre, which is near the Piers here in Sydney.
And another great opportunity for actors.
Yeah. So and it happens to be paid, which is a bonus.
Even better.
Which is awesome, yeah.
Because remember I went for that audition at the New Theatre, didn't get it. But anyway, they even were upfront going, it's voluntary.
Yeah.
It's going to be voluntary. Yeah. Well, when you say independent theatre, I mean they operate very independent because they don't have any grants. They're not government funded in any way, shape, or form, and they take sort of pride in that and sort of say this is our, no interference, we don't owe anyone money, we don't have to say or not say certain things. We can just be truly independent. But I mean, and mind you, they've been going for like 30 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not bad.
New theatres. Yeah.
So it's just great to see a lot of theatre around. When you consider the state of the world, we're quite lucky. But it's great to see so many people out and about and enjoying the theatre. Even more to the point, I had a friend talk about how they went to see another show at Bakehouse. I know I went to see Dead Skin. That was like sold out nearly every night.
Wow.
Yellow Fever, I think it was the next one. And that's the one he went to see and said it was a fantastic performance. Again, a sold out crowd. Like, it's just great to see everyone out and about supporting the
Everyone
arts.
wants to come
You spent so many weeks, locked down, savouring the arts, keeping you going. You might as well go and show your support.
Well, actually, we went to see a musical at the Rosalind Packer Theatre the other day.
Did you?
Yes.
Huge
called...
It obviously left an impression.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the songs in it? Were you actually there?
So yeah, it's so I went to see a musical at Rosalind Packer Theatre the other week called Fun Home.
Right.
Also never heard of it until a friend of Jess and mine asked us to come along.
Okay.
But it was really cool music, and it won Grammys for the music. And on the topic that we were talking about, so we got $25 tickets.
Okay.
Right, but they're usually $89. What? So it was $25 for under 25-year-olds.
Were you standing up in the back?
No, good seats. Because so what they were doing was there was $25 tickets for under 25-year-olds and $30 tickets for under 30-year-olds.
That's great. So they're incentivizing more young people to get out and
100%. And the perks are for all the young people who already love theatre. You get some good discounts on the tickets.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
It was great. And I think
was it full house? Was it busy?
Yeah, it was pretty full.
Okay.
The night we went, the funny thing was I think it's good to get young people more into theatre, but there were these two guys that happened to sit next to us. Didn't look like theatre people at all, but I don't judge. They were sitting there. They were kind of like moving a lot. And then they walked out before it ended. I was like, why are you here? Is it because it was cheap tickets, but were you going to buy one anyway?
Maybe it was a gift. Maybe someone...
Yeah, no, they look like they just came from a sporting match.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't leave that in.
Wait a minute, this isn't the footy?
Yeah. Hold on.
Why are they singing?
Oh, God.
That's not a tackle.
I can't see.
That's dancing. That's not how you tackle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that could
no
be bad.
Judging. Anyone can look like anything and enjoy theatre.
You can go to the football and to the theatre even on the same day.
Yeah.
Just don't go to one and think it's the other.
Yeah.
More on writing. So I've been doing this writing course because I've been inspired. I've got a couple of stories itching to get out. One, a television series with this whole little world developed and little characters, and another one, a film.
Yeah.
And Chris Corbett's doing this course through the union via Zoom, and really interesting, like how to frame a story. Well, first of all, there's no right way to do it. Yeah, otherwise, like, we'd all be doing it right, Yeah. There's so many different ways to do it, but I guess what he is enjoying sharing and what we're really loving is that he has a whole lot of sort of tips and tricks and things, like 18 questions to ask of the story to really pressure test it.
Yeah, okay.
To flesh it out a bit.
Cool.
And it's not, geez, I'm a screenwriter. I sit down, I write, all the lingo, interior, scene, night, blah blah. Because he's picked up an 80-page script. It looks like a screen print. It looks like a script. It looks like a screenplay. But when he's read it, there's no story.
Yeah, the story's the most important thing. Yeah.
Sort of things happening, but no real relevance.
That's the hard part. Everyone can come up with not everyone,
ideas
but you can
are
come up
great,
with an amazing story, but
yeah.
then producing it in the form of a script is
and
probably the
and if
hardest
you
part.
pressure test with the questions, you're going to get one survive out of 100.
Yeah, right.
That's just the nature of it. You can't be precious and hang on to something.
Yeah.
And then it comes to control. There's a couple of shows he named. Offspring and Wakefield being a couple where the writers really have a fair amount of control.
Okay.
And I know, with Wakefield, they really had to fight to have that.
Yep.
So, whereas others, it's like, 3 weeks before shooting starts, does he have to be selling crack? Can he just be, can we just have Walter White because crack's really, that's really negative. Can we have him do something positive to try and save his wife? Just change the whole tone and everything. It's really hilarious. Well, that was originally written to be, because he talked about that as an example of how, let's break down something that I hope everyone's seen, so that you can sort of relate to how that you apply these sort of 18 questions. So break down Breaking Bad. Where you conveniently dropped that he'd read a first draft script where it's originally set in California, but obviously Albuquerque came through with New Mexico producer offsets and everything, so they decided, let's save some money and just set it there.
Yeah, okay.
which works. And I mean, it's a different sort of world that's established, but I think it shows it could work anywhere, really, if you've got really good story, really good characters.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, like how you don't always have that control. You're in a room and you've got a couple of days to come up with, a couple episodes, and you're just working around throwing these ideas around. And then they come in and go, actually, the people who agree with you on this story have now suddenly gone, we don't understand this character. Do they need to be in it? Yeah. Or can you make them change the job to such and such? All this sort of stuff that happens.
Yeah, right.
You start to get all these notes, and all the notes are from the people who are paying for the production, so you need to pay attention, and it's how you sort of work that in. So there's so much that can change, and he kind of said, be prepared on the list of everyone's perceived importance. The writer's just above catering. It's like, that's kind of, in Australia, just put my hand up and say that in Australia, on set, that's kind of what it's like. But in other countries,
just above catering.
Yeah, but in
catering's the top,
get back
isn't it?
in your office and don't tell me that. I don't need to know what you think they should say. This is how go back in your office, write something.
Oh, God.
Whereas in America, there's a lot more control. There's a lot more influence.
Okay. I just want to say catering's at the top on my list. The food is bloody brilliant.
The food is good. I know, right? I know.
They're above director.
When I told my mum that I'm going back into acting a few years ago, I said, look, because we did a bit on the Gold Coast, she's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, you really did love the food. I'm like, yep.
Is she subtly calling you fat?
That's why I'm doing it. I did, because I didn't know, all the different jobs I had, and certainly coming out of community radio, producing my own show and that, we're lucky to have $1 between us. So then I'm turning up to this $1.5 million per episode television series, and that's mid-90s money. And of course the food's amazing. It's like there's hot food, there's cold. This is amazing. I went back 3 times.
Oh my God.
I love it. And this is every day?
Yeah.
I thought this was a special occasion, someone's birthday or something.
That was on the same
star.
That was for the same as on set of Making It, the recent reality TV show I did an art assistant job on. God. Same thing. The catering's amazing.
It's so funny. Guess what?
Brilliant.
I got called a hero the other day. We talked about the film I Am Mother.
Yes.
Directed by Grant Sputore. I think it's Grant Sputore.
His name's Grant.
And filmed in SA. Great movie. Loved it on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he's a place in California.
Speaking of warming up.
2 brain cells trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah.
In America, there's this outfit who do a lot of movie posters have done this limited edition I Am Mother movie poster. There's like 65 prints signed, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks awesome.
What, at a store or?
And online. And I've just gone bang, I bought it. And I've written ordered, bought it, and I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And the director Grant's gone, what do you got? You're a hero of the day. I thought, oh fuck, that's brilliant.
He said it to you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
On
I'll
what?
take that.
Email.
My Instagram, because I put underneath, I've just bought it, love it.
On the director.
And he's responded going, you're the hero of the day. That's brilliant.
What does that even mean?
First of all, I thought, well, because I bought it, it's great. There's only 65. I'm like, fuck, they're going to sell out quick. So I'm straight onto it, bought it. I'm like, yes, brilliant, I got it. I think it worked out to like 94 Australian dollars, including postage. But I love the movie. So for me now, sitting down and spending some time writing and that, it's great to have that for some inspo, you know, some real inspiration around.
Cool.
I've got the Breaking Bad poster. I've got
65 in the world.
the Big Lebowski, and I've got what else have I got up there?
I saw that.
There?
I saw the Breaking Bad. I saw Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski,
And there was another one on the left, and I didn't read it.
A James Bond one.
There we go.
As well. So so I Mother will be added to the collection. I got so excited. Out of 65, I'm like, yep, ordered, great. And he's replied underneath and said, "You're the hero of the day." I've gone, oh, that's brilliant. I'll take that.
From the
Well, it's a
director,
good day. It was a good day, even though I was a hero
Did you
that
tag
day.
him,
that
tag
day.
him in it or something?
No, I didn't. I just got super excited because. It was.
How did you see your Instagram?
It was. Well, I don't fucking know. Do I? I follow him.
Oh, okay.
And I've commented on his post before. Maybe that's how. I don't know how the algorithms work.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, you know how you're following lots of Facebook groups and you're on email lists for all these sort of random things as an up and coming actor, right? Because you're out there.
You got to put yourself out.
You're out there.
Get out.
I entered a competition. I've even forgotten I entered it. With Roadshow for something. I won. I've got a Penguin Bloom DVD of the movie with...
What movie?
Penguin Bloom,
the
movie,
right,
with the Australian actor. What's in... Oh, my God. Naomi...
What?
Yes. And a book and some postcards, some lovely printed postcards,
cool.
a little tote bag, my little Penguin Bloom tote bag.
Wow.
Oh, this is a nice little surprise. Oh, package from Roadshow.
Have you ever seen
Ripped
the
it
film?
open. No, I haven't actually. So, which is great. And I also want to read the book.
Okay.
Because a friend of mine, a bit heavy, but hey, when she was on holiday in Spain, she got hit by a police car.
Oh my God.
Which were traveling at great speed, lights on, no siren. She woke up a long time later and had brain injury, had to learn how to walk, talk, the whole thing. So similar to the person who wrote the story, Penguin Bloom, similar to her experience of having
is it based on her?
Learn, to learn how to cope with a huge injury, a life-changing injury.
Yeah, right.
So, and she'd actually met her, and they get on quite well. They catch up quite often. So.
Oh, wow.
From that conversation, she's like, you really need to read the book. It's really good. So I'm like, brilliant. Yeah. And what do you know? 2 weeks later,
you won.
I've got the Penguin Bloom.
Roadshow's a production.
So sign up to their email subscriber list. You never know what you might get.
I'll do it.
Oh, we covered a fair bit today in 30 minutes.
Good time.
I think we should be proud of that.
Very proud.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on social media.
Do the whole thing.
And we're on a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
we'll have there's lots more coming up. It's getting busier, so
get keen.
Stay tuned for another episode next week
of Two Unemployed Actors.
Bye.
Two Unemployed Actors.
You're listening to Max
and Sam. Welcome back. Let's go again.
How many times have we done this? 72 times.
Too many.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed.
Sorry, I was gonna bump in there. I thought you stopped.